We are joined by eminent panel who bring diverse perspectives on how the PYP is transforming education. So now I would like to invite Mr. Gautam Sarkar, principal of Aditya Birla Vani Bharti Hooghly. Hi sir, could I ask a question from you please?
Yes, please go ahead.
So, sir, I would like to know that since you are a head of such a reputed school, how do you see PYP shaping the foundation years for children's education as compared to the traditional curricula?
Good afternoon to all of you, and once again, thank you, Pranab, for giving me this opportunity. And I will straight come to your question, Shaila.
So, yes, sir.
The moment you say traditional curriculum, you need to understand we can't compare traditional curriculum and the PIP curriculum right now without uh, getting the detail or detailing of the background. Why I'm saying background? Because there are certain parameters based on which a curriculum is made. Our traditional curriculum was made on some parameters of family, society, keeping in mind. As we lost those parameters, so we need to evolve with new way of delivering the same. Why I'm saying this? Because PYP is what? That trains, that gives a child or makes a child an active, compassionate, and lifelong learner with a lot of acceptance. When we say traditional curriculum, we expected that time people you of age group of 3 to 12, they used to hear stories from their grandpa. They used to share things with their other siblings and cousins. Instead of nuclear family, where both the parents are busy and they are not available at home, they used to learn from the other uncle, maternal uncle, aunties, like that. So as those parameters are not available now because of our societal pressure or societal changes, so we brought this PYP. Now, what is the difference between the present curriculum and PYP? Present curriculum, why I'm saying, because now 100% schools are not following this PYP. That is why I'm saying the curriculum and PYP. The difference between these two, where we try to make that individual who's between the age group of 3 to 12, where he should be or she should be a self learner, where he or she will learn through practical implementations or hand-on experience, where they don't need to run for marks. Rather, they will be focused towards learning. In PYP, we prioritize on understanding rather than scoring marks. If you one-liner, if you want to, the difference between the traditional curriculum or the curriculum which many schools are facing, are there in many schools, and PYP is we don't run for marks. Performance assessment will not be done by one single exam. Rather, it is a continuous assessment where a child will get that opportunity to teach himself or herself. That is the basic difference between the PYP, the present PYP, and traditional curriculum. Over to Shaila.
Thank you, sir. So I completely agree with you with the point that nowadays we are just confined to few things. And before we were open to learn. Because at that point of time, there were so many options. And now people just want to do one thing in their life, and once they are done with it, they think they have stopped learning. But again, like you said, we should never stop learning. With your answer, I just arrived with another question that what are some challenges that the schools particularly face while implementing PYP in India? Because we know that it is not easy to bring out any change in India. So, how do you think we can overcome them?
Uh, See, there are basically three challenges which we face. Number one, interdisciplinary learning limitations in textbook. It is very difficult to get a proper textbook which is actually aligned with PYP. Now there are a few books coming in the market, but for all the subjects, the textbook is a big issue where the subject should be treated as a part of whole learning. While teaching a particular subject, that should be in mind or of the author that this is a part of a complete learning. It's not just a subject. Understanding of PYP by teachers is another problem. They need to understand how to relate the subjects. See, when we say between 3 to 12, it means even a child of 10 years who is in class 4, probably 3 or 4, 11 years and 5, or in the nursery, or we call Balvatika 1, they're not the same because they don't have the mother teacher thing in class 4. A teacher should be trained in such a way, even a teacher should relate the subjects. While I am teaching a part of geography, I should know that how this will help to understand some other subject like science or EVS, whichever we call, and how they were interrelated. For that, the first one is textbook. Second one is teachers training is the second most, is a bigger challenge. Because when we talk, when we go to the seminars, we talk about this, we get all these inputs, but that input must go to the teacher's level. And again, the training is not sufficient. Whatever training we are giving is not sufficient. It's not sufficient. And the third, the problem which we are facing, the challenge which we are facing, is a mindset of a parent. Hardly we will get any parent that who will appreciate the learning of his or her ward. Rather, they always appreciate their report card. If you score 98%, if you score 100 out of 100, if you score 50 out of 50, then you are the best. But believe me, trust me, scoring 98 in class standard 4, standard 5, standard 6, or in junior classes is absolutely meaningless if you don't understand the subject. But if you ask the parents that, okay, we implemented PYP, so we are focusing on hands-on experience, we're focusing more on them to becoming a self-learner, we are teaching them what is called acceptance, we are teaching them what is called tolerance. They said, sir, we want to take our child to some other school where they will teach physics, chemistry, maths, biology, English, and they will score well. Because marks is something, it means just like teachers, we need to take parents into confidence by communicating more and more with them. Not if you think of tier 1 schools, that gives only 4% of the total education system. But 96% of education system comes from the tier 2, tier 3 and rural background, where parent upgrading or parenting was never being discussed. For them, they're in the school, they scored well, they got a good result and a job. Whether they're satisfied with that job or not, that is not important. Whether they're understanding the subject, that is not important. So you can say that three challenges which we are facing. Number one, the textbooks. Number two, teachers training. Number three, parents mindset. And I think that we should start from the third one, because we all talk about that 4% population or 5% population or max to max 8% population. We never talk about the remaining 90 or 92% population, where good parenting and bad good parenting is something sounds luxurious from them. What is that? I am earning, I'm somehow managing my livelihood, and I'm sending my kids to the school is enough. What he or she is learning is not at all my, you can say, not my concern, is not a part of my understanding. I will not say that people from tier 2 and tier 3 or rural background, they are less concerned about their children. No, they are concerned, but they don't emphasize on PYP. They cannot emphasize on understanding. We talk, we discuss only for this 4 to 6% population. We don't talk about 90% population, those who are in tier 2 and rural background. And even in tier 1 and tier 2, mindset is a big problem. Now, if you if you top all India debate competition, your parents will be happy. But if you crack NEET, they will be happier. If you are coming from a physics tuition, your parents will say, ki, my daughter is coming from physics tuition. If you're coming from psychology, so, yeah, she went for a class, I don't know. I don't know, yeah, psychology, something. Why? Why? Because that's the mindset. We need to communicate. Meeting parents only twice in a year during PTM will not solve. If you want to solve this issue, if you want to overcome this challenge of mindset, you need to communicate.
True.
We do the branding of IPL. We do the branding of various elections. And we reach out to those 100 crores people. Can you show me one such branding or campaign where we desperately want, where we can actually go to that grassroots level and change this mindset? No. Because we all love to stay in present benefits.
A comfort zone of ours.
Future achievements, not future achievements.
Yes.
So IPL is known to the entire nation. Election is known to entire, any negative news, anything is known to entire nation. But this we never discuss. And we 4%, 6%, 8% people will never solve this problem unless or until the 90% population should be a part of this. So Shaila, I will not take much time. I know so many other guests are there. And I think these
So
are the...
now that you mentioned, I agree that I personally am from KIIT World School. And when they used to keep very regular meetings of parents, teachers, I would also think that why are they meeting so frequently? But then when our principal, Miss Sangeeta Bhatia, actually told us that this is the reason. The core problem is that we need to bridge the gap between students, parents, and teachers. Because teachers and students meet every day. They know each other. Parents and students still talk, but the gap between teachers and parents stay for long. So that's when we understood that a meeting in 15 days or 1 month is so important that it keeps teachers and parents also connected. So thank you for explaining us the challenges and taking out your time for us. With this, I would like to move on Miss Akriti Bawa, who is the founder of Yatha Preschool. Hi, ma'am. I would
Hi.
like to ask you a question. Ma'am, what is the main thing that you, from your whole experience of the early childhood education, what do you think? How does PYP philosophy align with the needs of preschoolers?
So thank you, Pranabji. I am audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
And Gautamji, it was very nice to listen to you. Virtually, we are meeting first time. And Shaila, of course, you've been a very great moderator.
Thank
So
you, ma'am.
it's quite yes, it's quite nice to see you asking questions and being able to understand a problem which is still not your problem. You're on the other side of the world right now.
Yes, ma'am.
so but this reflects a sheer sense of empathy from you for the system and for all the kids and all the fraternity altogether. So if you could repeat your question for me,
Yes, ma'am.
Shaila,
Why
once
not?
more.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
So I wanted to ask you that from your experience from past so many years, how do you think that the early education of the preschoolers could be affected by the PYP philosophy?
So Shaila, I've been in preschool industry since last 15 years, and I have seen it evolving. As Gautam ji also said, rightly said, evolve तो हो रहा है, but बहुत slow pace पे हो रहा है, and marginally हो रहा है. So we ourselves started with the journey of wherein the books were the derivative of the entire thing that we were doing. Eventually, it came down to more experiences, blending it with books because the parents would ask कि क्या किया है. They would take admissions कि क्या कराओगे. And the entire derivative was what is the book set which looks like, because that was more tangible in nature that they could see or relate. So understanding that problem, PYP, of course, it is all about curiosity, play, inquiry, exploration. So it is a very, very fine blend of what we talk early childhood education, early childhood should look like. And same as at Yatha also, we are trying to imbibe the same. So our a lot of time, or most of the time, goes. In fact, we call Yatha proudly as a no book curriculum completely. So we make sure our 3 years, Gautam sir, when the kids are here, so we are trying to have no books for them. And luckily, like you said, the parents need to be educated. So our parents, when we are counseling them, when we take the intake of the parents, we tell them that there will be more. It is more about experiences than about the curricula of the academia. और वो बाकी बच्चे उसके बाद जो है gap bridge कर लेंगे. And this is the third year then we have put ourselves out and about to be complete experiential. And yes, PYP philosophy also aligns with the thought process completely. And we are able to deliver what we are promising to our core, and we are trying our best every year.
Thank you, ma'am. It is
Thank you.
something very influential for all of us because bringing something new does not mean that it would be implemented at just the moment. Having the courage is more important. I would also I like to ask one question, which will be the last question for today. So I would like to ask that in your view, how can the parents be more effectively engaged? Just like you mentioned that you counsel the parents, but what is the opinion of parents on this? Because at last it's their child.
See, parents can be engaged if the parent is the one who started the education of the child. So when we received the child at our preschool, the child had his first teacher as his mother or father. Now, second, we are the torchbearer. So we collaborate with the parent, if you really see. And we bridge what the child has learned and now is going to learn with us. So, parent is a prime role, at least in preschool, I would say. And in fact, my daughter is 10, so I would not really. Parent is always a parent. Once you become a parent, you're going to be a lifelong parent. So, coming down to example simple is that you can keep the parent informed as much as possible because of course the child is with us. So it is to some extent what can we feed the parent with when it comes to the child, and then it becomes a collaborative more environment wherein if you are able to be open to discussions, meeting the parent, talking to the parent, being available to the parent, then they also start coming back to you. So I think it, it's a nice process that the parent should be aware, but we can keep initiating in our own indirect ways of being available to the parent, wherein they feel free to come and ask their questions, wherein they feel free to ask, okay, if my child did this or this did that, how did they do it, or their emotional or physical well-being, or and then we don't conduct annual orientations or PTA. We conduct open sessions wherein the orientation, assessment, annual PTM, everything is consolidated and we keep doing it throughout the academic year. So every 2 months, we make a point that we meet our complete parent body. All of us are available. We are able to tell how far we have come in 2 months or what are we going to do in another 2 months. So I think that flexibility and transparency bridges the trust also of what we are doing is correct, and also kind of gives us a hand holding from the parent as well.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
Again,
so much.
I would like to say that it was something that you mentioned, which is a need of a hour. And people may not think that it is important, but it is really important because if we won't change right now, it would be too late to do it afterwards because we are the youth and we have to take it forward. With this, I would like to thank our panelists for sharing such valuable insights and to EduTV for giving me opportunity to moderate this discussion. I hope today's conversation inspires more schools, educators, and parents to explore the possibilities that PYP brings to the education. Thank you, everyone. And it would be really good if we have a more session like this in future as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you so
sir. Thank
much.
you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you,
good day.
Shara. I
Bye-bye.
think you moderated better than us also. The quality was very good. Thank you, Mr. Sarkar. In such a short notice, I know you are awfully busy. Same goes with Akriti also. She runs 2 schools in Delhi, one in Lajpat Nagar and one in Dwarka. And I take a liberty. Akriti, I would like to invite you to Gautam sir's school in
Please.
Kolkata. And I will invite Gautam sir to Akriti's both the schools in Delhi. And Shaila, definitely you should come and meet Akriti.
Yes, sir. Why not?
There will be a lot of learning for you out there.
Absolutely.
Thank
You're
you
most
so
welcome.
much.
Gautam sir
Thank you
and
so much.
Shaila, both
Thank
of you.
you for calling.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye bye.